Punch me in at bar 2. The first bar was great. The first bar was great. But we could just...
Third note, bar 2
There's some areas I'd like to discuss.
Yes, I got a question for you. How the hell did you do that?
I know. The question is why? Why did you do that? That's the first time, folks, that we've ever sat down and played together.
Yeah.
We didn't even know what we were
We
gonna
didn't
do.
even have a starting point.
We needed to play something that not copyrighted. So actually, we just wrote something that
On the
now
shelf,
that's
yeah.
copyrighted, so you can't use that.
Now it's
called
ours.
the Andy Martin or the Martin Andy Blues, whichever way.
Yeah.
Beautiful playing, man.
Oh,
really,
thanks,
it's great
man.
to meet you.
Such an honor.
I've heard
Wow.
I've heard a bit online, and now we sat at lunch, and I got to listen to some of your record, and I listened to your duet with Tom Quayle. It was
Oh, man.
brilliant playing from both of you.
Cheers,
so
cheers.
I'm a fan already, and so we get the opportunity to hang for a minute here in Vienna and talk, and so.
Yeah, what an amazing opportunity, man.
Oh, well,
how small has the world become that we get to do this, you know? Because I remember listening to your stuff, like your Resolution record, when I was just in college.
When you were a wee lad.
Well, not that small maybe, but I mean, just if anybody ever told me we were going to do this right here, right now, that's just like incredible, man.
I'm honored
Thanks
by
so
that,
much.
but likewise, Manny, because it's just, you know, your abilities on the instrument are amazing, especially considering how young you are, and so it's inspiring for me. I'm very much more of a student now than I've ever been, so it's a good time for me to sit with you. Whereas a few years ago, I might have been even more intimidated. You know what I mean? Because as the music world, you know, and especially the guitar, as it continues to grow, you know, the level of proficiency gets higher and higher. Yes. You know. And there was a lot of years where, and even when I made the Resolution record, I was playing a lot, but I had lost some of my improvisational abilities because those solos are composed. Yeah. Because I don't know if you remember when I talked about.
You have the live DVD and you play the solos.
I played exactly because by the time I recorded that record, I had done the tracks, but I couldn't stand listening to it because I didn't like how I was playing. I felt like I was just playing things I'd done before.
And how about if you play these same song these days?
And now it's hit and miss because now because I got so unhappy with how I was playing. Now that's why I was talking in the last interview where I'm practicing every day now, playing jazz, so I can sit here and comfortably play with you and go, fuck, I wish I could do that. But okay, I do what I do, you know, and we're listening. The main thing is that we're listening to each other and responding.
Well, that was an immediate thing. It wasn't a chore or anything. It was
no, not at all. Not at all.
It
But
doesn't happen often with a duo partner you've never played with, but with you, man.
I hope it's okay. I hope it's okay. But again, it's
incredible.
Like, though I've done that on and off in the past, by the time I did Resolution, I'd gotten away from that to where I convinced myself that it was okay to compose a solo, which it is. Yeah. The jazz mentality would say, you're lame, what are you doing? You should always be fresh and improvise like we just did. But again, I hadn't been working on it as much. So I felt, you know, that I wasn't living up to my own expectations, let's say. But now I'm putting the work in. I feel better about it. I'm happy, and I can sit and play with a monster player like you. And we could be musical. There's some nice flashy moments, but it's all down to responding. You know, but we had conversation before we played, meaning that we had lunch together. We got on easily. Yeah. You know, because I think I think that says a lot about a musician too. How they treat others in the world, you know. If they care about the other person, they genuinely want to hear what they say. Yeah. There's some players that might be you're speaking, but they're thinking about themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And so that spills over. The person spills over into the music. Yeah. So I think that's why we already have resonated a little bit because we don't have to worry about.
And what I'm wondering about the improvisation versus composing thing. How did you feel at the time when you played the Resolution tour? Did you feel like it was a chore to be playing the same stuff over and over again? Because for me, I hear a lot of guitar players go, it bores me to play the same solo twice. Right. If I talk for myself, I do love to improvise and I work on it a lot. Sure. But I also, because the rock guitar player in me likes to hear certain solos the way they're meant to be.
Absolutely. Okay.
And if
that's a great point.
There's the odd tune. There's the odd tune in my own set where I play the solos exactly the same, and my goal is to have them played as nicely as possible. And it's a challenge every time. To nail it, and that challenge keeps me motivated. Yeah. So I never get really bored with playing my own solos.
You've answered your own question, but let me speak to that in that even if I'm playing the same set of notes, even start to finish in a whole song, it's going to feel different every night because my electricity and my energy, somebody told me once that I played right from my spinal cord. It just, it's connected to me, and it's not going to feel like it's a chore because it's not. It's a blessing, and I'm proud of those the stuff that I did on Resolution. The beauty of that, because all my records before that were largely improvised, almost exclusively, but to the point of like, well, I'm not necessarily happy with all of it, but okay, well it is what it is. It's an energy, and I dig it. But Resolution, I got to get it right.
Yeah.
I took the bits from the original tracks that I improvised and liked, then composed around it what I didn't like, and it took a long time to really do it right.
And if you compose a solo like that,
Yeah.
how is it like? Is it you sitting in front of a computer and piecing stuff together?
No, well, not at that stage.
Or
Not
is
at that
it
stage.
writing stuff down?
Never writing. I never write. It's all, I play it. When I did Resolution, I just played it over and over.
But how do you remember all those notes if you just play it?
I just do.
That's crazy.
That's never been a problem. Memorization for me is easy, musically, because I hear it as melodies, and I remember songs very well. Why shouldn't I be able to remember if it's a nice solo, And I'm really
it's worth remembering.
I'm really proud. I'm really proud of that record for that reason, because I think it's something that I wanted to hear, So, and I got myself to the point to work hard enough to get it.
Yeah.
So, even though it wasn't improvising, but improvising is composing. It's just it's a minute's music in a minute's time.
Different time frame.
Yeah, it's just the other one took me a lot longer.
Yeah.
But now I'm because I'm doing that amount of work before I get to the gig or the session.
Yeah.
So now when I sit and like I was telling you earlier, I did a jazz gig a couple of weeks ago, and I really enjoyed hearing myself do it. And that's a pretty positive thing for me to say, because there are many years where I just I wouldn't want to ever listen to a playback. Don't let me see something on YouTube. I'm just gonna. And still,
I get that feeling a lot.
And still, I still do, but that's part of that is very necessary, because you wouldn't be the great player you are if you didn't put that pressure on yourself. If you didn't settle, if you were comfortable with okay. You're not comfortable with okay. You want, no matter what we do or no matter what level we get to, we're always going to go, man, okay.
Could have done better.
I always, oh man, I wish that one thing I wish I could have got. So, but I'm just, happy to enjoy it more occasionally now.
Yeah.
So there is not that that's comfortable. It's just like, okay, but I'm enjoying the process more because I'm working harder. So that's been a great place for me to finally get to. It took a while.
That kind of helps me knowing that you are actually able to achieve some sort of happiness with your playing.
Well, occasionally, but there's, like today, I had the earphones in, you were playing me some of your record. But you said some nice things like, oh, I like this tune. This is a good tune. That's a great, I know that's not specific to playing, but it made me happy to hear you speak, not egotistically. I didn't take it as that. I took it as like, that's cool that he's enjoying this tune.
I mean, I'm happy to show it to a guy like you, and without feeling like it doesn't hold up or anything.
That's a major thing, because I wouldn't have had that confidence years ago. Maybe when I was at a similar part of my career, it would have been hard for me, though I would have been dying for, Steve Lukather or whoever. I was handing my CDs to people all the time. I'm just like everybody else. You want your heroes or the guys that you think are good. You want them to hopefully dig what you do. And but yeah, I've always been very shy about that. But it made me feel great that you were at this place like, wow, okay, you can play that for me and know that it's good.
Yeah.
So that's a wonderful thing. So, but also to hear you say that, you have your cringe moments too.
Oh my
because,
God.
Yeah,
All
because
the time.
that's important. I mean,
Sometimes I'm not even bothering anymore looking up my name on YouTube and seeing if there's something going on from the last gig. Like
you can't.
This one thing happened
stopped,
where I played a gig with a local band named Tom Götze Band, which is a really cool jam-based kind of band.
Okay.
We did a cool record that we recorded within 3 days of studio work.
Okay.
And we gigged a little bit, and at one point we played a two-set gig, and I was looking up the internet in the break. And there was part of the gig online already
like
and the gig wasn't
streaming.
even over.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just wish, and probably
Yeah.
you get the same. Like if you're at a trade show or something,
And
be
you
it NAMM
know.
or Musikmesse,
Yeah.
somebody hands you a guitar and says play something, and it takes them a second for somebody to,
And of course
take
they're
out
there.
the camera. And sometimes I just want to suck. I just want to plug into
Can
an
I just
amp
play and
not play great.
I never have a problem with that because I don't play great ever. No, you know, but it is a daunting thing,
Yeah.
and it took me a few years once, you know, the initial shock of YouTube
Yeah.
for that to kind of get out of my head. It's still in my mind because you look out and there's people holding phones up, and you just kind of go, man, I wish you would just be here and
In the
enjoy
moment.
be in the moment.
Yeah.
But I mean, your career, my career, is greatly, you know, benefited from these people, you know, that have done this. Even though it puts us in a very difficult position.
Yeah,
Because there's many people that are out there that love what we do. There's people that are like very negative and very critical, and so it makes it difficult that we can't just be even freer. You know, Matheny has talked about that online, where he thinks it's, you know, it's inhibiting, and it kind of keeps people from really taking bigger chances, because they
Steve
have
Lukather is the same, I think.
they have to
pretty
be
much.
concerned
Yeah.
with, you know, man, if I really fuck up big here, that's the first thing that's going to be posted. You know, here's this dude sucking, you know. So, but you have, you know, at the end of the day, you can't control that, and you have to forget about it. You know, last night I did it was the first night of my clinic tour. It was in Switzerland, and the gig overall I thought I played okay, but there were some couple of moments that were some of the worst I've ever. I mean, just I think it was part jet lag, and my focus wasn't 100% just because I was tired, you know. And I look out and there's the dudes with the phones. I'm like, fuck. You
Just got to stop thinking about
know?
it.
You
Just-
can't let it get to you. And I didn't. I laugh now more than I ever have.
That's a good attitude to
You know,
have.
it
has to do with maturity.
Well, there's
I
that.
think that's something that has to be earned.
Well, I
over
appreciate
time.
that. But yeah, I'm 52 now, and I've been doing it a while. But I mean, it doesn't take away that desire to do well, be it just for yourself. But of course, you want people to think highly of you, especially once you've achieved a certain amount of notoriety of being a good player. Now you've got that to live up to, which is great. I mean, it's a fortunate thing, and it's a very good position to be in. So, but yeah, you have to lighten up to a degree. What key do you play it in? D minor?
I'm playing a G major over B for the fourth chord, and then.
Martin, beautiful,
Yeah.
man. All right. Very nice.
Cool, man. Nice, nice.
We'll call that house sensitive.
No,
Not insensitive.
I got a better title.
The whole different. Man,
Oh.
we need to go
Need to
find
play
a,
more.
I know. Let's go find a gig, man. Hey, you guys got a band tonight?
We don't need a band. We can play a duo.
That's what I mean. With like, where the band?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's what I mean.